Excellent. Hi, Alicia.
Good afternoon. Thank
I'm
you for having us as a part of your event.
Thank you. So we're here today with Alicia from Unity Hospice Resale Shop, speaking to us about their organization. So tell us about your org.
Sure. So I am with Unity Resale Shop. We are a part of Unity Hospice, and we opened just over 3 years ago. We opened because we used to get people who came on our hospice program and their families, and they would say, you know what, I lost a loved one on your program, and now I have a whole household full of things. Do you have somewhere I can take them? And for the longest time, we had to say no, or we had to direct them elsewhere. And we opened this store to be that meaningful place for people to donate their loved ones' things. So I would say about maybe half of the donations that come through our door are from people who've used our programs. And about half of our donations are just people in the general Green Bay community who are just looking for a place to donate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So all the funds that you raise there, I'm assuming those go back to support your programs?
Yeah, so all of the funds, all the proceeds we raise here at Unity Resale Shop go back to Unity Hospice. So if you can't afford end-of-life care, we don't turn you away. We have a fund called Community, it's our community fund, and that fund helps provide those funds for people who need end-of-life care who might not be able to afford it.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
Um, how does volunteering look right now in the age of a pandemic, if you will? How does somebody get signed up? Are there any restrictions?
Sure. So we had to take so much into account. The majority of our volunteers end up falling in that higher risk category when it comes to COVID and the pandemic. And so we really had to prepare and take as many precautions as we could so that our volunteers were comfortable coming back. We closed our doors on March 13th. We closed our doors for just over 2 months. And we reopened our doors on May 26th with a few precautions in place. So one of which, as far as our volunteers go, our volunteers have always had to wear masks during their shifts, at least since COVID, I should say. And so that's been a thing since May 26th. And then with the mandate from the governor, most of our customers wear masks as well. We also have masks available for a donation, whether they be the disposable ones, or actually a couple of our volunteers have been making cloth masks for a small donation of $5 as well. So we ask our volunteers to wear masks while they're here. We limit the amount of volunteers who can volunteer in each given area. So at any given time, we only have one cashier at a time. We only have one person pricing. We only keep 2 people in receiving and sorting. So we're very conscious about maintaining space as best we can. And then with our donations as well, we quarantine all of our donations for the safety of both our volunteers and also of our customers. So when people make a donation, we accept it in our storage pods behind the building. And then we do not touch those donations for 72 hours. And then once that 72-hour quarantine time has passed, we process donations and put them out on the sales floor. And that's to protect both our volunteer staff as well as our customers. And then in addition, we are taking on new volunteers during this time. Here at the shop we are. And we just ask that while you come for orientation, which is about 60 to 90 minutes long, I meet with new volunteers one-on-one for orientation. And I ask that you wear a mask. I wear a mask as well. I'm only not wearing one now because I'm quarantined in my office with the door closed. But otherwise, I wear a mask while I'm here and during orientation. Because it is really important. I know that we had so many volunteers who expressed interest in, you know what, I want to stay active, but I want to do so healthily and safely. So we wanted to put those precautions and those measures in place as well. So we have taken on a few new volunteers and we're always looking for more. But with that said, Unity Hospice currently is not taking on new volunteers for their the hospice side of things. So usually we accept volunteers for sitting vigil with patients and working at the residence and things like that. But right now those items are on pause. So we're happy to be here and be available for people who do still want to volunteer and provide for the organization, but in a safe manner at the same time.
That makes sense. So
Yeah.
how does somebody go about signing up to volunteer?
So if you go to unityhospice.org, that's our website, and you click on the resale shop, there will be an option, a little hyperlink to volunteer now, and you can either fill out the online application if you choose. Otherwise, if you prefer to fill out an application on paper, you're always welcome to call the shop and ask for me, Alicia, and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer, and I can actually mail you a volunteer application if you prefer. And then once you fill out that application, whether it be online or in a paper form, I will reach out to you once we receive that volunteer application, and I'll reach out to schedule that 60 to 90-minute orientation. That's again one-on-one with me, and we schedule it kind of when you're available. I'm here pretty much Tuesday through Saturday, so we can even do weekends if that's convenient. And then you come in for orientation. I give you a tour of the shop. I talk you through everything there is to do with the shop, which is a lot. I get you scheduled for your first shift. And then after you come in for your first shift, you're pretty much good to go on your own. So I teach you about the scheduling software. You sign up on your own. If something comes up, you cancel on your own. So I talk you through all of that stuff while you're here for orientation. But it's really completely based on our volunteers' availability. So we've got volunteers who go out of town for the winter, or go out of town for the summer, or go on vacation frequently, or whatever. That all works. We can still make that work. Communication is big for me as the manager. As long as you keep me in the loop, like, hey, I'm going to be gone for 3 months. Like, that's good for me to know. So I appreciate that stuff, but it works. It always works.
Sounds good. What time are the shifts there at the resale shop?
Sure. So right now we're working on limited hours, just based on staffing, primarily in association with COVID. But we're open right now Monday through Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we're open right now from 10 until 4. Tuesdays we're open from 10 until 6. We're open a little later. And then on Saturdays, we're open from 10 until 2. So our shifts range from 2 hours to 4 hours.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then I guess, so you started right with your role at Unity Hospice, the resale shop.
Yeah.
So you've had experience with a number of volunteers, I'm sure, over the years. Is there a really meaningful volunteer experience that sticks out to you at all?
Well, I have said this once and I will say it again. We have the best volunteer group here in Green Bay. They're just an incredible group of people who, some of which have been around since day one. They came to orientation when we first asked for volunteers back in April 2017, and they're still around to this day. And then we've got some volunteers who came on board last week. I've got 2 new orientations this week.
Oh.
So we're always looking for more volunteers too. And I've actually nominated our volunteers a couple of times for Volunteer of the Year, our Volunteer Group of the Year. I was actually in a very severe car accident back in January of 2018. And it put me out. I was out of the office until almost August of that year.
Oh, wow.
And our volunteers stepped up and made sure that the store was staffed and that the store looked beautiful and that everything ran smoothly. And I cannot speak highly enough as to their, just the people who they are. They're always willing to go out of their way to make this store even better. I mean, right now I've got some of our most fun volunteers in the back right now who are pricing Christmas stuff, who are getting us ready for the Christmas season, which is like the most exciting time around here, and we're really excited for. And they're so passionate about helping Unity Hospice and about this cause. So they are the best volunteer group in the area, and they're always so welcoming. I mean, they know that we're a team and that we need more people on board at all times. And so they are ready with open arms, from a safe 6-foot distance during this time. But they are ready to take on new members and help train them and get them comfortable and kind of sharing the fun around here. So they're a great group of people to work with, and we're always looking for more.
Oh, that's great. And I guess for people that don't know, where are you located?
Sure. So we are located out near the Green Bay Airport. If you head out on 172 towards the west side and you go towards the airport, we're kind of right off of Packerland behind the big Bellin building. We're in a little strip mall, kind of right in the same parking lot of Famous Dave's Barbecue, of D2 Sports Pub, and right next door to the big Bellin building as well.
So I guess for people also that don't know, you were saying before you're not a thrift store. You are, what was that you mentioned?
Yeah, I love that we're not really a thrift store. We're more of a gift store.
A gift store.
We like to be a little bit more upscale resale. Our donors have been so thoughtful about all of our donations that come through our door. Gosh, and it's just so fun to see the stuff that we see because it's so unique. I'm just thinking as they're going through the Christmas stuff, they showed me some of the fun, cute items that we're getting this year. And we got this little nativity Christmas tree where it talks, you plug it in and it talks, and you plug in a little bird ornament for every day closer to Christmas you are, and it says something different every time. And it's like, you don't find that stuff in even the gift shops in Green Bay. It's like you find the most unique treasures here, and it's so much fun every day. You just never know what you're going to find.
Oh, that does sound unique. Excellent. So lots of wonderful, unique items there, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got everything. I know we get a lot of questions about what types of items we accept and what kind of items do we see. And we accept mostly anything that we wouldn't have to pay to discard of. So like large appliances we don't accept, large tube TVs we don't accept, things like that. But otherwise, as long as things are in pretty good, decent condition, we do accept them for donations. So we see a lot of furniture, a lot of clothing, different home decor, some small appliances, lots of vintage items and antiques, and then clothing. And then we most recently started accepting children's items. So we have some children's clothing as well as toys and things of that nature too.
Sounds great. I'll probably be making my way towards you anyways.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so much fun. It's just a great group of people and a lot of fun when you're here. So I mean, we still hear every day, we still have people who come by and they're like, I didn't even know you guys were here. And it's like, oh, I just want to scream from the rooftops, like, we're right here, come see us, because there's such cool stuff, even if you're not a thrifter.
Yes.
That's why we're more of a gift shop than anything. So you just never know what you'll find.
I like that. I like that tag. So pretty easy to volunteer, it sounds like, with you. Just a very easy schedule on your own. You can do what you'd like, receiving, cashier, I'm assuming kind of sorting through donations. And
yeah, everyone when they volunteer here, they kind of tend to find their niche. I always tell our volunteers, I never want you to feel like this is a job. I want this to be like your fun getaway to go have fun and work. And everybody tends to find their niche. So like, for instance, I've got one volunteer who I had no idea she does this, but we had some beautiful artwork in my office and it was all rolled up. It wasn't framed or anything. And she goes, would you like me to take those home and frame them? And I said, you know how to do that? And she said, yes, I do it just for fun. I work it with the matting and everything. And so she brought back the pieces that she had taken the other day, and she did such a great job. I'm like, I would never know how to do this myself. And it's like, I discover all these really neat talents and hobbies that the volunteers have, that it's just so fun, the kind of stuff that we can do here. We used to have a whole room for a bookshop here as well. And we got rid of books for a short period, and then people kept asking and asking. And one of our other volunteers, actually, I had reached out to him and I said, hey, I have a project for you. Would you possibly build these bookshelves that I have in mind? And he put together a beautiful little book nook for us and installed these beautiful stained wooden shelving, and we're able to have books again. And it's like the talents of our volunteers is just the coolest thing. And I discover them every day.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to ask, is there any age restrictions for volunteers?
Yes, here at the shop, we do ask that you are 18 or over to volunteer here. Yeah.
Sounds great. Excellent. Melissa, any other questions or anything else, Alicia, that you want to share with us?
I don't know.
And it looks like you have a very pretty dress over your shoulder that matches your outfit.
Oh, yeah. So we have, so back in our office, this is my office along with our assistant manager. Actually, during the pandemic, primarily, we started doing a lot more with online sales. So when we had our doors closed to the public, we started amping up our volume of sales on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and then we have our own website with product at unityresaleshop.com. And we amped up the items that we were able to put online and got that system kind of figured out. So those items that you see behind me are actually some of the items that we have posted on our online websites.
Perfect. So folks watching, please go visit, do some shopping, and donate some fabulous items. And of course, look into volunteering with them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are always asking what they can do for us and what's the best thing what's your highest need right now. And yes, we need your donations, and yes, we need your time as a volunteer, but another thing you can do is just shop. I mean, it's not that hard to have to go out and spend some money for a good cause. So we welcome new shoppers every day too.
Yes, treat yourself.
Yeah.
To some Christmas items, it sounds like.
Oh, we can't wait. We're actually, so our Christmas, last year was the first year that we did our, we called it our Winter Wonderland, and we hosted a Winter Wonderland reveal of all of our Christmas decor. And so this year we're doing that again, but in order to do it a little safer because we don't know where COVID will be at the time, we'll be hosting the week of October 26th. We'll be hosting a Winter Wonderland reveal for that whole week. And we have a room that we keep separate, and we kind of close it off. So nobody can see what we're doing in there. And then on that day, or this year, that whole week, we will be revealing it. So we're really looking forward to that. I mean, it was so fun last year, and it's so beautiful, and we see fun stuff. So we're really looking forward to putting that together again this year.
Sounds like a place where people can find some really unique items for their home or for as a gift.
Oh, for sure. Both, for sure. I mean, it's a very rare day that I don't go home with something that I needed to buy or I needed to buy. Pretty much everything.
That sounds dangerous.
Something. But my fiance can't really argue with me because it goes to a very good cause.
Exactly. You are supporting Unity Hospice when you shop with the Unity Hospice Resale Shop.
Yeah.
So feel good about that, right?
We have a sign in front of the store that says, "My husband called and said I could buy anything, or told us you could buy whatever you want." And it makes people smile every time they see it. They're like, "Oh, see, he called. It's okay."
Well, Alicia, it has been awesome talking with you and learning more about your organization. Of course, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to Alicia at the Unity Hospice Resale Shop or to us at the Volunteer Center. We'd love to help make that connection and bridge that gap there.
Yeah, so we can always be reached at 920-339-5501. That's our store number. Otherwise, you can email me at aschram, that's ASCHRAM, at unityhospice.org, or you can send a message on our Facebook page. I mean, whatever way you want to get in touch with us, we'll find you.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. Well, thanks, Alicia.
Of course. Thank you guys for hosting this. It's a great way to do what you guys usually do in a different way. I mean, we're finding our way and navigating through this COVID stuff, but we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Alicia.
Thanks,
you guys.
Alicia.
Take care.